Welcome to the JAMODI podcast, where we interview coaches and leaders to find out not just what they do, but how they do what they do. Becoming the best version of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. All right, so you get to see your players in a kind of specific way. You know, it's for an hour at a time, but you do a lot of planning in that. But within that hour, how do you build confidence into your players?
I think by repetition. You know, I tell one of the things I tell players all the time, like when the season's going to start and, you know, we're kind of winding down the summer is, and it's corny and it's kind of like, duh, but it's, you deserve to be good. You know, you deserve to have a good year. Don't go into the year and let a kid that, you know, didn't even step foot in the gym, you know, take more shots than you. You know what I mean? Be more vocal than you, lead more than you. You know, don't let that happen because you've been in the gym, you know, with me 3 days a week in a hot gym in June, July, and August. You know, like you deserve to have a good year. So I think the confidence factor comes from the repetition. You know, like you look at players and, you know, you study their film and, you know, they're shooting a lot of, whether it's floaters, catch and shoot, pick and roll stuff, and you drill that and drill that and drill that. It's like when you leave the gym, the game should be easy. You know, I heard, you know, a coach told me a long time ago, your training should be hard so the game's easy.
I like
you
that.
know, and I don't mean physically hard. I mean
sweating doesn't always mean that you're getting a great workout.
Yeah. I've had players come and they look like they didn't even work out, and it's been the best workout they've had. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just because of maybe that particular day, it was a lot of reads, a lot of IQ stuff. So they weren't, you know, going as hard in terms of, you know, making moves or, you know, whatever the case may be. So I think that idea of just me understanding their game to a different level and me just being, you know, the film junkie and basketball nerd that I am is making sure that I'm putting them in positions to what they're going to see in games, you know. So when they're doing that for 4 months, 5 months, you know, before, you know, the season begins, then when they're on the floor in the game, they're going to go, wow, you know, when I was repping this out, you know, in June, it was actually harder because I had to try to understand, okay, when do I make this read if the defender's there? Well, now, you know, in June, he was making it tougher. You know, maybe that defender was stunning. In a game, they may just commit or just run away. You know, they're not even going to stun as long as I did, you know, or something like that. So that idea of you've put in the time and you've built confidence through that repetition, I think is absolutely huge.
It's interesting you use the word deserve because I have talks with my parents and players at the beginning of the year about that word. And in our culture, a lot of people think they deserve things that they necessarily don't. But in this case, because of the preparation and time they put in, they deserve to be confident in their own skills. Where another thing is I think players look to coaches sometimes to instill or give them confidence, but we really can't. We can help protect their confidence, help maybe their confidence that they have grow, but they have to gain it themselves to deserve or have the right to be confident through that time and preparation.
Yeah, and I think that deserve, like you said, I think the reason I say that is because I've witnessed the work. You know, like I'm not having a player come to me, you know, as a high school coach and say, hey, you know, coach, I've been in the gym, you know, all summer. And I'm going to go, okay, you know, good. You know, I'm in the gym with you too. You know, I'm sweating just as much as you are, and I'm working just as hard as you are. So I know that you've done, you know, you've worked on the right things, you've put in your time. So that idea of deserving is something that, again, you don't want to throw around that word loosely, but I've experienced it. You know, I've seen it firsthand. So I think, I just think that idea, again, of working on what your game calls for, it builds confidence through repetition.
Yeah, I think in this context, that word really works. So I'm not in any way saying don't use that word anymore. It works. Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.